Hey everyone, what we're going to do today is a crappie jig. It's my snow angel pattern, uh, thus the white color. But in the vise we have a 1/16 ounce minnow head. The color is white, and we're going to use some 140 denier flat wax nylon in white. And we're going to get our base started. This is a real easy one. Um, it's very similar to my white ice crappie jig. Just some little minor differences, but overall effective pattern, dirty water and clean. What I want to do is I want to get it down just about right at the hook point there, and I'm going to work it back up just because of the material we're using. So first thing we're going to do is put our tail material in, and that's white bucktail, and the length would be like 1.5 hook shanks. So that's, I'm basing that because it's a sickle style hook. I'm basing that, and that's the other thing I forgot to tell you. It's a number 4 hook, 16th ounce minnow head, number 4 Eagle Claw Lil Nasty sickle style hook, and that would be down here at the shank is the length on a round bend, right where you get to the bend of the hook. On these sickle hooks, I like to go down right before you get to the very end. I would say I kind of estimate where the hook shank is, and it's a little bit right in this area. That's what I gauge it off of anyway, and I like about 1.5 for the length, 1.5 to 2 hook shanks for the length. So I'm going to measure that out and cut it off, trim it. And here's the thing with the when I use bucktail, I like to tie in a little bit more. Instead of tying it in right here with this size 4 hook, I like doing it here. I used to tie it further down, but I realized that it's much more secure. I don't have any problems with it, with having to fix them when I tie it all the way at the head. Now, if there's a collar on there, it's a little different, but for a collarless jig, no, I don't need it. You don't want it a real heavy. You don't want a real heavy amount of bucktail either. This one you want kind of sparse, just enough to get all the way around. You want to make it even. I'm going to wrap it down to where we stopped with our base, and then I'm going to go back up to the head and make sure it's nice and secure there. I had the bucktail slip on me here a little bit. And that happens. I could probably take a little bit more. See how it pulled down? And I'll show it to you here. See how this hook is out? And all that's from is just when I was wrapping it up, it slipped because I wasn't paying attention. Easy fix. If that ever happens to you, just back it off a little bit. Not all the way. Correct it. Hold it in place. And we are good again. I'm just going to hold it in place just to make sure. I don't want to have to do that again. Sometimes you can manipulate it back here. Other times you can't. So we're looking pretty good on the bucktail side of this. Our tail's in. Next step is flash. And on this, again, this is an evolved color because I used silver crystal flash, but now I'm like using this blue pearl polar flash. I'm really digging this polar flash, as I've said it before. And I take 2 strands of this, and what I'm going to do is fold it in half and cut it. So I'm going to take 2 strands for each side. And we'll fold it over about the length of the tail. A little shorter, a little longer, based on your preference. I like it right around the tail length, a little bit, just maybe a hair beyond. That seems like a good spot for it. Same thing on the other side. This stuff just has such a good look to it. It's natural in a way Crystal Flash isn't. Crystal Flash, I still like Crystal Flash, as I always tell you. It's certain things, it's indispensable where I don't want to use this, where I want a more flashier presence. But for this one, because of the color, it really works well with it. So we got that in. Now we're going to take some medium pearl chenille. Cactus chenille works. Basically the same stuff. Tie it in by that little cord and work the thread all the way up to the head. I like to pull that material back when I'm wrapping this kind of chenille. I like pulling the little fibers back because it's almost like hackle if the fibers are that long. Gives it a good look though. I always think it reminds me of scales in the water. Now you don't want it right tight up against the head. I'm going to stop it right before we get to that point. And again, trying to be clear so you could see everything. It really doesn't take very long to tie this pattern, and it's not hard. Of making it look harder than what it is. Now we have that little gap here at the head, and the next thing we're going to do is take, this is barred mallard flank, and what I do, see I already did it, is I got the stem there, the center of it, I worked it back, and I pull these barbs back, and what I'm going to do to tie this in, I'm going to actually cut this center piece down a little bit. Wrap it in there and on the other side, because this stuff will walk on you. And what I do is I fold this over to get it to face backwards, to get it to face towards the tail of the jig. I should have used a hackle plier, but we'll muddle through like this. And don't worry if it looks a little strange when you're wrapping this, because the fibers are long, and you're only going to get like a wrap and a half to 2 wraps. Got that in. We're going to take our stem off. What I'm going to do is I'm pulling all this material back. I have to wet my fingers a little bit. Now I'm going to start wrapping back because I want to keep that material pushed towards the back. See, we're going to have a thread collar. Instead of having that hid, you're actually going to see it. And we're going to whip finish. And we'll put some head cement on. I'll show you what we have. Oh, one more time. Cut our thread. A little bit of water-based head cement. Don't need a ton. And we're just about done. Get my clamp here. And there you have the snow angel. All these mallard flank fibers, they really dance in the water. You are going to get to see it. I apologize for not having my tank cleaned up yet. It's still taking some... I still have some other things that I'm doing, but I'm going to get to that. I have it drained, and all I got left to do is clean it and put the water back in. But there you have it. Snow Angel crappie jig. I made it look harder than it is. Really good pattern. Works well. Has a nice presence in the water. Nice action. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.